Rob. Right, I'm good. Last week we did looked at forward paddling, didn't we? And we looked at the fundamentals. Right. If Neil joins us, just to pick up what we've been doing. So, how are you connected to the boat, your body?
Feet, bottom, hips,
Yeah.
and your knee braces.
Right. When you talk about the feet of connected,
Individual feet.
on where's the feet connected to the boat?
The foot.
The footrest. All right, Neil. So 6 areas. Footrest. No. 1, 2. Your knees here. Yeah, and your bum. Yeah, your bum at the back, on the back of the seat. Right, Rob. So how do you get power transfer to make to make your boat move?
Well, if you paddle on that side, it's a foot pressure on this side to transfer the
Yeah,
power.
speak to.
To transfer the power from that foot and keep out pressure depending on what side you paddle. And you want to keep the paddle as close to the boat as possible, not right.
Yeah.
Transfer
Yeah, but where does the initial power transfer from? No. It's the hip, but below the hip. Right. Okay, so that's one part of the transfer, connectivity we've talked about. Right. What about posture? Posture is linked to what? If you lean forward,
Yeah, balance.
yeah, we'll call it trim. Right. So if you're leaning forward, when do you lean forward if you're in white water or rapids?
If you're going over a small feature or in
Yeah.
rough water.
So what happens to the boat if you're leaning forward? Yeah, keeps it down. You're going through. Yeah.
It stops it deviating like that.
Yeah. Okay. If you're leaning back like that,
It lifts the front of the boat.
so the lift's the front of the boat. When would you have that? When will you need to lift the boat? No. It's raw. It's called boofing off a rock. So if you've got a rock in the water like that and you're going up the slope, by having it this elevated, you're leaning back, helps you to go over. And right, what about feel into the, where do you get feel? How do you get feel with, say, the boat? Yeah, right. How do you get feel with your paddle? Well, if it's power transfer, which is linked to the connectivity, how do you get the feel into the paddle itself? Yeah, because it's linked to your body, isn't it? Linked to connectivity. So the feel is from the connectivity to your body, which you're really feeling with the paddle. If you're feeling with the paddle, it's into the water, isn't it? What's the closest part of your boat to the water? No. Where's the power ultimately finish? The power transfer ultimately finish? No. Because you start from the hips, where do you finish? Right? If Rob is putting his paddle down here and leaning forward, so where ultimately, what's the nearest part to the water? Well, if you start from your bum and you're coming over like that, no, what's this? Your feet, your footrest. Your foot here is the nearest part of the water, isn't it? Because you're on a seat, aren't you? So that's slightly raised, isn't it? Where your foot is nearest to the water when you put your paddle in, isn't it? Right. So you get feel from your connectivity when you put your paddle in. All right. Okay. That's what we went through last week, and what we then went through. Right. What do we mean by a description of a stabbing a fish with your paddle? Yeah. Right. So do that again. Right. So. What's your lower arm doing? What position is your lower arm? It's straight, right. And what's the top arm? It starts off bent across the body, and then yeah, right. Okay. There's also feel as well about how much power transfer you put into the paddle. So don't forget the density is less here than in a river. Right. So, what I want you to do is do that stabbing position, but I want you to edge it, just do the stabbing position only on one side. So if the stabbing position is, if you do it on your right, I want you to edge just purely on the right like that. On the same side, so you're just paddling on the one side. All right? No, all I want you to do is paddle on one side, edge in one strike, down the pool, and then swap over to the other side. Okay? You keep to the yeah, go. Right, just one side, not two sides, one side. One side. Yeah, so you got to slow it down, haven't you? Yeah, but just one side of the edge and just slow it down. Just practice it. You don't have to go fast. Just edge it. Right, keep practicing that. Both sides, don't forget. Okay, stop at the bottom there. Right. Try it then. You're still edging on one side, but you can compensate by using the left side, the opposite side as well. So you're basically just purely edging on one side, but you've got to paddle. You can paddle both sides. Yeah, you've got to just edge on one side, Rob. So you've got to get that stroke in, but not so powerful. But you can steer at the back if need be. You can steer both sides, paddle on both sides if you want to. Paddle both sides, the edge on one side. Have you tried the other side yet? So edge one side, but use the paddle on both sides, Rob. Okay, Neil and Rob. So it's slightly easier where you edge to one side but use both paddles. Yeah. Yeah. Right, okay. So you found that out. It's only by experiment you understand it. Is there a particular reason why you would edge on one side a lot? Any particular move? Right. So, right, okay. Yeah, fine. So that if you continue the ferry gliding out, you went over to an eddy over there at the top of Jackfields, didn't you, Rob? So if you put pressure on the downside part of the wherever you're going down, cutting out from the eddy, and you've got the downside. If you put pressure, you're coming from the left over to the right. You can ultimately, after initially getting the start going, just paddle one side over to the opposite eddy. So edging it like that and putting pressure on the foot here where your paddle's going in, you don't necessarily then have to paddle on the opposite side. Yeah. So if it's different in the pool, but I'm just showing the reason where you can use that particular stroke. Because if you're coming out your eddy like this, Rob, it's all right. I've got you. You're not going over. Right. Okay. And you're going over towards Rich. See where Rich is there? That eddy over there, where Rich is. Okay. Where's the water going? If it's on this side. Yeah. 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 So there's no need to bring the paddle over this side because you've got the edge there. It's assisting you. Yeah. It's assisting you to go over there, and you're probably using less strokes as well. And you've got more control over the boat. Okay. Try and do the same thing, but try and edge it on one side and go in a circle. Alright? See if you can edge on just one side. going round in a circle. You use both sides, but just edge round. Just use it for edging round, going in a circle. Right, so just turn the boat, just edging on one side. Keep going round in a circle. Right, Rob, try the other side. Have you tried the other side yet? Try your left. Okay, if you both come back. Alright. So, how do you find, how does the edging on one side assist you anyway in turning? Turn it quicker. Right. So in a way, initiating an edge to turn helps you a lot. Okay, and also, as I said, it's trying to get that stabbing of the fish here movement as well. Right, so